Welcome back, friends, to EU League Outsiders versus Wolves. Esports is about to begin. Outsiders, it's a fight for relegations. For the Wolves, it's a fight for extra points to...
Sorry, sometimes I lean on the desk, and I was stood a bit far back, and I went to lean on the desk and went like that as we was getting brought onto camera.
What did you... I always say welcome back, friends. What did you want me to say?
Just something different.
Welcome back, foes!
No, enemies is what I said.
Enemies.
Yeah, because not everyone can be your friend. Sometimes you have to be nice to the people you don't like.
Fabian, if you're nice to people, you don't get enemies, but you're not nice to people.
I'm nice to Jack sometimes, and I don't like him.
Oh.
I got him a gift when he came to the studio.
Yeah, we can't mention that. Anyways, let's move on. First up with Wolves. Fabian, the squad has made it through, but they can gather up more points today. Maybe the pressure's off.
I don't know. They're obviously going to take this game seriously because in the end, they also want to win the basic all three stages combined, right? Mm-hmm. But in the end, they're not going to show anything off for the majors. I think that they're going to play it safe. They're going to kind of allow a map that they've already played and a map they've played recently to go through, to show off that, oh yeah, we haven't changed anything on this specific map, so they don't give anything up on the new ones, and then they will probably change that map for the major coming forward anyways.
I've coined it not saving strats. I've coined it banning defensively with the maps. You don't want to show a map that you've not played, so you'll tuck them away, get them away, don't actually show them. And like Fabian said, you just play the default. You know, I wouldn't expect to see a bad map out of Wolves today, but I would expect to see one that we've already seen.
You have the ego to win and the will to win. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this league. But at the same time, is it worth it to show it now, or is it better to show it at the major?
And of course, since now for the drawings, and since we were just mentioning Wolves, they are currently #1 in the stage. But by the end of today, we'll see it'll be one team from each region that can be in each one of the 4 groups. Of course, 16 teams in total that are qualifying, and it all depends on also the seeding. But there's going to be one team from each region in each group. It's going to be a lot of intermixing, and that means a lot of strategies that these teams have never played against or even seen. That's something for Wolves to think about. But Outsiders, on the other hand, they don't need to worry about Berlin, but they have also a big fight to go for.
They don't, and I have this team in my mind as a team that has top 4 hopes, but does not put in top 4 performances consistently enough. They do it sporadically, sure. They look good in individual games, but the trend, and you can see particularly with that graph down the bottom right of your screen, win a game, lose 2 games massively. Win a game, lose 2 games massively. And I think that's the thing for Outsiders is strategically they just can't find their kind of where they want to be. They can't find themselves. They can't find their strategy. They seem a little bit lost strategically. They've got a team that is full of great individually talented players. All of these players, in my opinion, deserve to play inside of EUL. They are great players, but they're just not quite clicking, and I can't quite put my finger on the pulse as to what it is.
And I can.
Go on.
Because Pasha said it in the last interview. He said that they've been thinking so much about the team and the opposition that they've stopped thinking about themselves as individuals. And if they can activate themselves as the individuals, we know the fragging power they have within that team. I mean, you were the one who called them the Russian super team, right? They have those players that can do it. They just need to activate the team part, the opposition part, and also themselves. Can't just focus on 2 out of 3.
That interview from Pasha last week was actually very telling on a lot of things. So there we go. Among even operators, preferences, yada, yada, we got a lot to talk about in that one. But now moving on to our map for this series. Always best of 1 series is here in the EUL and all of our leagues. Bank will be the one we go to. Outsiders will have the last say. They take out Oregon, and they start off on defense for Bank as Wolves are on the attack.
There's that defensive banning again from Wolves. Ban the 4 maps you've not played all stage. Border, Sky, Cafe, and Theme. Leaving Outsiders the choice of Chalet, Bank, Oregon, Club, and Villa. The highest preference map for Outsiders on those lists is Bank, so I'm not surprised to see Outsiders go to a Bank that they like. We saw them being quite good on it during stage 1.
I think it's just smart by Wolves, honestly. They go to a map that they've been playing.
Wolves are great on Bank, by the way.
Yeah, they are great on Bank. They are still hiding 4 maps, and I guarantee you, Wolves plays those 4 maps. There's no way they don't, because I know how their coaching staff works, and I know how the 2 leadership personalities in the team work. They play all of those maps. So
what can Outsiders do?
I mean, they can shoot heads.
We actually saw them be quite, what's the word, ingenuity. They showed some innovation when they played it last stage. We saw them actually marrow it up through hatches and all sorts of stuff. They really took the fight to, I can't remember who they were playing that day, I think it was Pones. And I think maybe a little bit of that, but I don't know. It's going to be very difficult against Wolves, who are such a good team unit. It's hard to find individual picks with that type of play.
I just think that Wolves are a better team, and I think that they have better fraggers at the same time. So I don't know what Outsiders can do, really. I mean, they need to hit their shots. They need to play the individual part as well.
All right, no two ways around it. A lot of pressure on Outsiders, but not in the same way as it is on Wolves, but you can say the same about Wolves on the other side. Fresh, Fabian, thank you very much. Let's toss it to our casters. Probably at least one of them is the best in the world. Fresh, can you please toss it to the casters?
Yeah, we're going to toss it to the casters. We have got Hap and Milos.
Yay!
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, I was,
Goedendag. I'm getting a bit, I'm
Goedendag.
getting bald.
You can bowl. Let me show. A little bit, yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Middle Eastern testosterone thing. Anyways, you get old. Anyways,
I'm getting grey, so I mean, we'll complement each other. Here we go.
let's go.
Milos has some bad news for this game.
Up.
You know, there's about 6 players that can reach 100 kills over the stage today. All 6 today, but they're not in this game. Realistically, only Mowgli has a shot. Do you have a guess at how many kills Mowgli needs to make if he wants to touch 100 this stage?
Like 10?
What?
10?
No, more than 10.
More? 14?
It's still more than 14.
24.
It's less than 24. 17.
17. I
kills.
was going to say.
17.
Tip of my
I knew
tongue.
you had it. It was the next guess. The very next best guess. So he's the one that's close scoring currently. Mowgli, 17 kills. So we'll be doing a bit of counting as we go on, as we continue throughout this game. Currently dealing with the bans here. The Banagon, of course, for the hatch play that we have on bank, the Nook, to make sure no chems are being circumvented.
Man. Nook bans on bank are always, I guess, they pull a bit of the excitement away from it, I want to say, because I love those flanks. We used to see aces doing it in the past also. But yeah, Qa'id is a pretty common ban. Also left for the fence at the end. It could be a Mira, it could be a Valkyrie. Honestly, there's so many options at this point. It's going to be the Valkyrie. There you go. Outsiders taking it away, and personally, I completely understand why you give the flexibility to, for example, someone like Rise or Bibu to play the Valk and giving information to Mowgli. You're not going to have a good time. And as you see, Wolves on the attack. It's a good spot to start off on when it comes to bank. What's the win rate on bank currently for?
Let me just pull it up quickly.
Please, you're my expert.
We're going for the maps and the sites tab. There we go. We are on bank. Overall, defensive win rate is a whopping 43% on the UR.
It's terrible.
Yes, that's
Thank you,
very
Fabian, for the
terrible.
water, by the way.
What a boy, professional. If any
That's
teams
what
need
Fresh used to do on
professional
G2.
Oh. He's not very happy with me calling him a water boy. Either way,
He's a hot water boy.
43%. Is he coming back for that? No, he's not. 43% win rate on the defense. The best site overall is going to be CEO and Launch.
Okay.
12 times 1. 6 times 1 out of 12 rounds played. So 50%. It's not the first side we're going for. We're going for the open area. And we start to see this side quite a bit more. We used to always see archives and tellers, but ever since the current operator changes came through, Bank re-entered the competitive map pool, suddenly teams start to feel this side a lot more.
Honestly, there was a time way back in the day where nobody touched open area because for most teams, if not almost all of them, it genuinely sucked. They didn't know how to deal with it and then understood, oh, we can use castle, oh, we can use these barricade and all this stuff, and it will help us quite a bit. Now you also have Zami, an operator that outsiders themselves, Pasha in the interview last week said, oh, we actually kind of like banning her because we don't like to play against her. But, oh, there's the entry, and there's the Azami. P4 will get the first kill. No need to reload, of course, with the LMG in hand. A big kill to open it up with Rask down. It could get the second, finds it. P4, what an opener to the round.
No Akiba barriers to be put onto the board. Also, no jumping the hatches. Milan's still inside the janitors. Not going to get flashed. Gets a free kill with a hipfire MP5. Tries to go for the second, but will be shut down. Rise will find him. FMX still up above, but it's important to note the side is actually not up on the top floor. Only Smash currently out there, and as soon as they do realize someone is out here, Wolves could quickly just call it a day and decide to go downstairs, but instead they continue hunting. And FMX will be allowed to pick up yet another kill, pushing it back towards a 2-on-3. Suddenly, this is quite even. It's quite doable for the side of Outsiders, and with FMX trying to come back, the on and only hurdle he had to go through is Bibu through the window, and of course P4 sitting still on the tellers.
P4 this entire time has not been moved from this power position where the main thing is cut off rotations. And when you're in the spot, you can do it quite easily, especially with the LMG, but even more when your opponents are presenting themselves to you one by one. With Smash alone, yes, he can do a lot of work. The Maestro is probably the best operator to have in this position on the defense just because of the Alda that Smash has in hand. But there's so much time left. By the time that he's in 1v3, there's over. There it is. It's done. It's done. It's over. There it is, walking right into P4. But the time, the last kill comes in, it's a 1v3. There's a minute and 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
There's so much time for the attackers to play around and do their deeds, really. All the Maestro can do here is either sit tight or say, you know what, I'm just going to attempt something, and there's no shame in that in this spot.
I mean, he grew a bit impatient, right, and decided, you know what, I can walk around because I don't know exactly where they are, but they're not putting any pressure on the side. It might put me in a position to get onto a flank, cut someone off at the right moment when they are about to execute, turn us back into a 1v2, and then on the back of my evil eyes that might still be on the side, clutch this one out and win that first round. So he started moving, but he didn't quite expect Wolves, and especially P4, to still be in the exact same corner where he managed to get 3 kills from. So, yeah, P4, massive round from him.
They change down to the basement now.
They do change down to the basement now, which also not great. It's slightly better with a 2% extra win rate. But if we start looking down to it, we're seeing a bit of an extension coming through. So the middle floor, the open area that we just saw being taken out quite early on, not due to the frags happening onto the side, but all around it, is going to be their setup now. They are willing to bank onto a bit of verticality here, hoping to keep these hatches soft so they can drop down later. But at the same time, waste some time and utility of the attackers that now need to clear out this area.
And why is that reaction coming in? Because of the cloud ban from Wolves. You can choose to just reinforce the hatches and say, all right, we're going to lose them very quickly, but it's okay. But honestly, those hatches wouldn't be providing much to you at that point, specifically with that cloud ban. So whatever, open everything up, use that to your advantage, and be a bit more maneuverable, a bit more flexible around the side. Even more, the fact that Bibu is bringing the fuse, he could have been able to take down anybody that's under it, but also all the utility that might be set under those hatches, plus the canoper meta that we're playing in now. You'll see 0 sometimes, but also the fuse of Bibu can do quite a bit of work with it. So everything lines up to make the strategy work, but this is a very complicated one to pull off, especially against a coordinated team like Wolves that know exactly how to jump properly.
Bit of an eyeing up on the hatch jump up here, but it gets caught off by Bibu.
Oh,
will
man.
find Milan and sends him back down to the hatch as his corpse will just drop down. Not going to be able to have any impact onto that round. He went for an attempt, but he failed, unfortunately. Second player to be caught off as the skeleton key opens up from above, but not before Smash was able to find Mowgli. Only 1 kill on the board so far. It doesn't seem to be on course to be hitting his 100th throughout this stage. And as there it goes, the cluster charges are about to pop off. Those are definitely going to be clearing out massive areas of the open area.
Yep, and there's got more of these, of course, 3 of those charges to use. There's the hatches being opened up. This is, again, the power of Fuse. I know there was a time where you would have never heard anybody say that, but he's just an actually very flexible operator. Currently, FMX taking a lot of damage from the drop there, the hockey puck all the way down, and maybe trying to find an angle here, Bibu. There's somebody trying to peek through the hatch, but everybody's fallen back, and this is the moment for Wolves to set up for the strike.
The impact's actually coming through there to destroy the cluster charges and protect Rask a little bit, who's still hiding in the open area right above the hatch. He's about to be receiving some pressure. Flashbangs are about to be dropping in here. He's not being flashed as of yet, but also not receiving too much pressure. There is an LMG on the other side of this. A jump in comes through as well to know exactly where he is, and his head gets taken clean off as he drops through the hatch. 2 men up against 4, 25 seconds on the clock. Wolves, they need to make this happen, and with doing so, need to go for a drop.
There's Shinka coming up to the wall, trying to breach on in. 15 seconds in. Wolves have been known to function properly under pressure. There are 2 smokes left, but you can go for an off plan, and P4 can be the one to pressure. In the meantime, the double LMG, there's P4 with 1, Rise with the second, and a round is over as soon as the assault had begun. Look at the back flank from the Buck. Rise with perfect timing. 10 seconds on the offense is very little, but the offense was played so perfectly, and there is the timeout.
I don't actually think it's a timeout.
No. I don't believe so either.
I think someone might have done...
Usually I blame Hap.
Well, I'm here, and you see that my keys are currently not on the keyboard.
That's true. Your keys are not on them, Mr. Boop, Beep Boop. On open area again!
We are going to open area again. Let's see if there's a bit of a change coming up, because last time we saw P4 pick up 2 kills quite early on. What do you say?
Thunderbird.
Yeah, so the opportunity for healing. However, kind of thing, last round no one really got an opportunity to fall back for healing, because they all got confirmed before they even got close. So, with also the lack of overhealing being there now, as in you cannot just overheal anymore if you are already on full HP, you have to go for a bit of team damage if you want to go for an overheal first. Hope to get set by Twitchtron. Maybe even get shot up by one of the attackers. And otherwise it will just function as a get back to a full HP kind of card. Because it's locked into a corner. And grenades will start to punch through the side. Pasha, of course, is playing the Orcs, will be running through walls, taking small amounts of damage and can heal himself up, as he does right now.
There he is.
Back on full HP with a bit of overheal temporarily.
I'm sorry to say this, but Oryx is a juicer. That's all you need to know. There it is. Pasha back up to full HP and even more. Wolves setting up for their take here. It makes a lot of sense. Go in, take the top floor. But one thing I love watching Wolves do is droning all over. I know it's usually a very boring thing to watch people do, or even do yourself. But the way that Wolves drone and give that information onto one another and then capitalize on top of that information, that evolution over the stage has been beautiful to watch, especially if you compare it to stage 1. It's great to see. There's a Thunderbird. Rask will be getting the first kill. P4 on his own, and this time he will not be able to sit into tellers at the start of the round.
Good start there from the side of Outsiders, getting that very first. Mowgli now, though, looking to find one. Will find the smoke. Another kill coming through on the desk side. No, FMX will live for now, but still keeps up the pressure until he falls. Rise gets that kill. Pasha quickly needs to dash out of harm's way down the staircase, hoping to find some of these Thunderbird salvation stations as done by medics to make sure he gets back to full HP.
Yep. And is there a way for him to fall back down? At least one of the hatches is open. Not sure about the second one. No, it is closed. Smash will take a bit of damage here. All these angles being utilized so well by Mowgli, and even Rise was making some positions of his own. Shinka coming in on the fuse, trying to take down the one player that's now sitting on the site. Pasha is not on it, so if you're able to find Smash in the spot, the site, it will be open for you. That got too close for comfort, and he's just sitting waiting for the healing, but Mowgli will get the kill. The site is wide open. Pasha and Rask are just catching off, or trying to catch off people on the flank, but Wolves can just drop in whenever they want to at this point.
Just sending out some extra cluster charges. Drones now going through. Know exactly where Pasha is instantly picked up. And this is the droning you talked about before. They find out where one of these players is. They instantly reply to it. And as Rask opens up the double door right now, is about to be swung. Mowgli unable to get the hip fire, breach fire with the LMG there will at least keep Outsiders into the round. The plant's going through. Soon 45 seconds will be on the clock unless he manages to hit this wall bang. He does get quite close, but Shinka moves out just in time. And as Rask is on about 5 HP, he desperately needs to get back to one of his salvation stations, but fails to do so before the plank goes down. 2 people, he aims in the middle, doesn't manage to connect to either as he trade kills eventually. And that is another round to come in for Wolves. 3-0. Absolutely dominant so far.
This was the hairiest round we've had so far, but, well, at some point, you gotta decide to go somewhere else. Well, we got a timeout. It seems like it'll be the case. Outsiders have actually gone for it. And honestly, I'm happy with the timing of this timeout. A lot of teams will go through the entire game and not realize, hey, we didn't use our attack timeout. Maybe it would have been something great to do in the right moment. Good to call it early than to not call it at all and maybe fix the issue, because it seems like Outsiders have what it takes gunplay-wise. I don't think that's something we ever really criticized them for.
Yeah.
But Wolves, the fact that they're so coordinated and you see how effective they've been at droning and capitalizing on it, is something that even tough teams, ones with way more experience and pedigree, would struggle against, not just Outsiders.
I mean, it's just Wolves outclassing them right now.
Sure.
Not in a way of gunfights, as you say, but just being in his positions, catching everybody off. We've seen little gunfights, actually. They've mostly been one way, so no shooting back from any of the players that have died so far.
Yeah, and that's gotta hurt, especially, for example, that
Yeah, and
Maestro spot. Yeah, all of those holes that you can open up with your buck, it hurts.
I mean, they're on 6 kills in 3 rounds. It's not the worst we've seen, but it's definitely not the greatest either for a team that's currently 0-3 behind. Now, just all these angles, I believe Fresh said it before, Wolves are good on this map. They know exactly how it works, and you see them abuse every single angle they know is in the book here to get rid of these players of Outsiders. A drone comes in, boom, 2 angles set up. That player is now isolated, no way out without dying, and that just happens time and time again. Now, a bit of a spawn peek attempt is here, though, from the side of Outsiders. An opening from the stock side of Smash, hoping to find anybody up. Milan preparing a jump out, hoping to find gold as he goes for a jump out, but it's going to be a bit of a pre-fire coming through. They might be aware, and Milan will be rotating downstairs.
Close, not sure. There we go.
Drone.
All confirmed before getting the information. You saw him on the sledge, on the spawn, just waiting. It's always good to go into your settings and make sure that you basically have the proper setting on, so even if the round starts, it doesn't pull you out of active droning and just keeps you in it. Sometimes you need that intel, and your opponents on the defense will be relying on every single second there to bounce on you and maybe get an early kill that, you know, it's you could call a bit cheeky or a bit cheesy. Also in that manner, Rask and the rest of the boys are sitting up here, but at least one thing you don't have to worry about in the same way is verticality, unless Rise is able to take control from the bottom floor up. I'd be very surprised if that happened.
I mean, yes, it's definitely an opportunity, but I think mostly so to use those grenades because verticality often favors the ones that are on top of it. able to
3
fire
sets
down.
of nades, my dude. That's a lot to
I
work
think there was
with.
also some impacts. Yeah, they just used the concussions to get rid of some utility. Grenades will shortly start to follow. 3 people up onto the rappel here. Castle barricades are being taken out. But if you look at this setup, really only Smash is the worry here for the side of Wolves because they can plant right behind the desk and only Smash is in a position to really stop that from happening.
Rise already entered in, and there's the 1-to-1 trade.
there it
Shinka
is.
will get another, but Pasha finds a second of his own. Milan to turn it into a 3v2 advantage for Outsiders, but the post-pine position might be exactly the one that Wolves are looking for. Down in the hallway, Shinka has already found one of Milan sitting up on the rappel. Rise for one, but it's left in a 1v1 with Shinka. Again, in the power position. Very difficult to pull anybody out of here, especially Zofia with an LMG with seemingly unlimited ammunition. It's going to happen at some point, and Wolves get a 4th round on the board.
I said it before, Smash is in that crucial position in Janitors. He could stop that plant. The cover needed to be there, and Shinka did exactly that. He swings out, head instantly, cleanly taken off. Not a single chance for him to actually try and find Rise, who already took some damage before. And now in 0-4. Wolves currently on track to make this a very quick first game. And remember, by the way, how I said that Mowgli was the only player really in a position to go for 100 kills. He needed 17 in total. He's currently on 4. The way it's currently going, he's not going to be making it, and that means that we might have to wait for other players that play later tonight to
He can
bridge that
still ace 3 times in a row.
Yes, that definitely put him in the
4K
right-
3
Yeah,
times in a row.
No,
You want
yes.
to tell me that you've never seen him get 4Ks 2 rounds in a row?
I mean, 2 rounds, sure, but he needs 3
But
rounds.
3, that's what I draw the line, Milan. Keep it down.
That's where I draw the line. It's, no, but I mean, it was a long shot. It was an 83 kill starting. You have people like Spoid on 93, for example. And if we scroll further down, Shaiko 94, Eminem. They have users in Solotov on 91 and 93.
All those
So-
kills, and Shaiko still couldn't get more points for his
No,
team.
definitely.
Crazy.
Like, he's 93 and 94 kills, still not confirmed. But it could still come, as Rask will get the very first. Hidden inside of the ATMs will be shutting down Bibu. That's one of the heart breachers gone. And normally I would say, luckily, you know, you have the redundancy, you have those can openers, but that will just rely on Shinka now, as FMX picks up P4 as well. It seems like Wolves have gone a bit...
Oh, they know.
Do they know, though? Mowgli definitely knows someone is on the other side, but doesn't seem like they are aware of his position on the side of outsiders.
Are they actually going to do this? There's the nade to try to destroy that Legion Gubine that had just been set up, as we saw by Rask. The site could be open here. Wolves would just say, okay, you know what? We're 3v5. Let's just try to push it for site. The hatches are mostly closed. Not all of them are open. The server one is open, as you just saw. But the entry into garage is definitely a potentially proper way in. Shinka and Rise flanking in with their own drones, getting the information that they need, and Shinka confirming some intel on that red hallway. Could be able to walk up. There's Rise right in front, and if it could take down Rask, that would be a huge opener to set themselves on the site for a plant. There's the peek around, there's the check, but oh, mistimed here. Still a minute and a half left, but Wolves are stalling.
There's 2 players above, and they're trying to get these drones into the positions to find out where exactly they're flanking from. Rask looking to go aggressive down the main stairs. Pasha drops as Mowgli's first kill opens up the site slightly. Rice now needs to find a one onto these main stairs here, but it seems like Rask has fallen off on top of the hatch now, which Rice is trying to chase.
Are they chasing one another?
They're chasing one another, and if this one goes in favor of Wolves, it's only a lot more doable. A 3-on-2 situation, 3v2, 1 above on either side. Mowgli above on one of these hatches. FMX deep inside of the vault. They're all over the place here, and Mowgli needs to try and find an isolate one. The same for Shinka, and suddenly a plan can start to appear.
So what happens now for Wolves? They're going in for the flash. Milan pushed back for just a moment. Double flash in. Shinka has a lot of angles to watch for, but it doesn't matter because Mowgli's coming in hot on his tail and in support. 2v2 smash. But he knows where he's at, but he loses the gunfight. Mowgli can actually turn this around. FMX, the last one alive, has got 2 impacts. The diffuser is in the hands of the Wolves. All they got to do is just hold on to the one angle, the one spot FMX can peek through. He gets one, but not the second. Wolves actually do it. They pull it off in the last second. The Thermite to get it done from a 5v3 to a 2v1. And the Wolves, my God, I'm sorry, dude. Just end the game right there. It's over.
I wanted to say when I saw Mowgli in the servers and I said 2 in garage, I'm like, this is quite winnable, you know? Because all they need to do is find the one inside of red, they find the one inside of the site on the main stairs, and suddenly you have isolated it. Because the ways that they were attacking from, you had pretty isolated angles that you needed to win the gunfights from. And it's exactly what Wolves did.
Look.
And I know I said Mowgli, you know, triple kills, quad kills 3 times in a row. Might be hard, but he just dropped the first 3K.
10 more?
10 more. It's doable. 2 aces. Come on. Possibly.
Stein? Don't call it too early. This man,
It
honestly,
isn't over until it's over.
That round, if I could, by executive order, just end the game right there,
You would have?
I would have. 100%.
Luckily, we have
We
a
would
rule
go
book.
back to year 2, where you would win by hitting 5.
Yeah.
For those that remember.
But,
that are
you know,
old
it wouldn't be fair now because we haven't seen outsiders on the attack yet. Clearly an attack set up
Where do you think we are? Come on. Anyways.
We're in a competition, Milos. We need to follow the rules.
What? I don't know. I just talk on the desk. I don't know what's going on here. There it is.
Talking in 2 desks today.
Say again?
You're talking in 2 desks
Yeah, that's
today.
true. We have a rotation. Fresh is going to be coming in and casting later. It's going to be fun. Fresh on desk, fresh on whichever desk you want him to be on, to be
Yes,
honest.
I might even put Fabian onto a cast at some point.
Might as well set the studio on fire.
Either way, outsiders desperately looking to still find a round. I mean, they did find 2 entries in that last one. Definitely looked to be going the right way, but Wolves, they kept their composure. And now drones start to roll in. Again, this is how they managed to make a difference so many times. That's a spot, even though Milan thinks he might have been misdroned. So he's starting to reposition him himself a little bit there. Also has 3 magnets to play with, so he's definitely not going to be naded out of that position. C4s are coming in as well, so they want to play some verticality here. Rice will be caught off if he doesn't move. And that is going to be an entry yet again. Rask helping his teammate. And this grenade coming around the corner will definitely be caught. It might actually get all 3 discs.
There's a disc out, and
it's all 3.
Yes, it did. Oh my God, that was perfect. The second nade is out. Milan on literally a lick of health. Mowgli still gets the kill with Bibu at the same time. A 4 versus 3 situation now for the Wolves. They get the entry, but they lose 2 right after. And those are powerful power positions that are out for the squad here at Outsiders. Open area, as I said again, in case you haven't noticed, Mowgli has full reign on this top floor. You have the Fuse also, Shinka. There's going in with the advantage, and the LMG can do a lot of work. Can he swing around the other side? Check it. No, there it is. Pasha will get the kill, but P4 has already taken down Rask in the meantime, still using those tiny angles to his advantage. And this is written Wolves all over it.
It definitely does. But Pasha still on the roam. Could be quite detrimental to the Wolves. Drones are hunting. He doesn't know someone is on the other side of that wall here soon. Might actually receive a bit of a wall bang from Bibu as he's about to swing around the corner. Here's some movement there. Here's the T5. SMG is not going to be able to lock at the kill quite yet, though, but does eventually get the injure. Pasha drops. It's only up to Smash now in a 1v2 effective situation here, hoping he can go for a recover onto Pasha, and he will be able to do so as well because no one is currently watching. And no, there's a small angle there, and Bibu will find yet another kill. A flawless half from them with an 0-6. And now they need only one more round to lock this up with another 0-7. And that will be the third that Outsiders receive this stage. That is definitely not something they will be happy with.
Bibu locking it in here, at least for match point. And like we talked about earlier, on the desk for Outsiders today, it's all about getting points to stay out of the relegations fight. There's an article by CGG that came out only a few days ago. Of course, the struggles that a lot of our Russian players are, of course, going through in these times and trying to compete at their best. I'm sure that does not help the situation at all, but that's the difficulty that you got to go through here. And Wolves are looking to capitalize with potentially one round on defense to end it all.
If they manage to win this, Wolves, either overtime or full regulation, they will be confirmed first place as well inside of the European League. So
not bad.
They will be the official champions of Stage 2 for the European League, joining Astralis and FaZe as the current champions. And of course, Demon Kia as well on APEC North.
Elevate
and Elevate and APEC South. They have actually gotten their visas, so they've beaten that final boss.
Honestly, I will not believe that Elevate are qualified to the major until I literally see them.
I want to see Onigiri again. Just you know, drop some kills onto the MK14, drop another kill record possibly.
I'm just gonna go to Berlin, sneak my way into the event, just to see if they're there.
Sneak into their practice rooms, see if it's actually filled.
Yeah, holograms. They did it with Tupac. They'll do it with Elevate.
But Ghassan, it's 0-6, and it's Outsiders currently on the attack. They have 6 rounds they need to win in a row if they want to have an opportunity of winning this. 6 rounds in a row if they want to pick up a single point. Now Wolves, they are roaming and running about, just making sure they're not being called off. Talked about Mowgli before, currently on 91 kills, 9 more. It's not going to be doable in one round, so they need to lose some if he wants to be able to make it. But he's definitely stepped up big this stage, like we expected from him. It's always going to be that question, can he keep that up as well?
Look at those tight angles being created here by Mowgli, and still has one more blade to use up before the rest recharges, and he can just fall back and use all these angles to his advantage. Pasha has taken even more damage himself. He's going to be forced to boost up here, put the rest of the team up as much as possible. They're still just around half HP. Thrown in from Smash. He finds the angle and takes down Mowgli, who, unfortunately for him, walked in and got too greedy for his own good. Finally, the skeleton key being used on the other side and perfectly timed.
As well.
The yokai drone giving the info. Rise, Bop, and FMX. And like you said, the fuse. Oh no, it's dropped right in there.
Yeah,
oh my god, that is perfect! That is perfect for defense.
The Ying wanted to use the hard breach gadget there, so dropped down, and now they have no clue whether or not the first floor is going to be completely out, Ghassan. So with that, they need to drone that out, they need to recover it, then they need to hit the site. Yokai drone still in place here for Wolves, and as these RC Retiros are starting to come around the corner, surely some utility will be taken out. But every second that passes, these Yokai drones become more and more powerful. So at some point, they definitely need to hunt the Echo. That is deep inside the gold vault here, and they're definitely not reaching them with those RC Retiros.
That Rataro is not able to do much except for zone out for just a moment, but still it allows Pasha to cook a nade down into Rise. You saw that there is one explosive canister that had been set up by Rise and the Goyo right in the default position for the plant that could be triggered quite easily by Shinka and P4 in their spots. The smoke of Shinka is getting set to chuck his canisters out, and there's one in to try to slow down this assault from outsiders. Util being thrown out into sight, maybe pushing back the smoke, but Pasha will find one. Gonna drop right into sight here in the back, into lockers. He finds one, but Bibu and Shinka have gotten one each. Milan goes through red, all the way through the smoke, and gets the final kill, keeping the team alive. Outsiders put one on the board.
They avoid their third 7-0 of the stage here, Milosh. After Rogue and G2 have been able to 7-0 them, it is not Wolves that will join them. A 1-6 so far. Outsiders, they need 5 more rounds if they want to be able to start fighting for some of these points. Now, they have just managed to win their very first. It's definitely possible to get some more, but it did get quite close. There's just a lot of opportunities for Wolves here. They could even go for an aggressive jump out in one of these rounds. Just play it a bit more offensive than they usually would on the defense. Just throw off whatever outsiders things they have on you, because you have that luxury. You have those rounds, and more importantly, you have the qualification for Berlin already.
Yeah.
So literally Wolves can do whatever they want. They can play in whatever style of siege they prefer. And maybe one of those rounds will stick on outsiders and actually win the round for them.
I mean, would it matter at the end?
I mean, they're on 19 points now, so...
They beat Rogue before.
Head-to-head doesn't matter, Milos.
Yes, true.
It's going to be round differential. And they're currently, I mean, plus 15, so Rogue could overtake if they win.
All right, so Wolf can still take it to OT and, you know, win with 2 points there, and it would still be confirmed no matter what happens with Rogue as number 1.
It's a rush.
Yeah, you want to take it all.
This is a rush.
Outsiders are setting up. They have an IQ, though, which is an oddity, but we saw the Echo before. There it is, and it fails. They all run right into Bibu, finally dying to Pasha, but Bibu just keeps on spraying. Took down 3 of them. There's still one left. It's FMX. He's smoked out. He's taken down. Bibu pulling back, happy with the performance. There it is. I think
He just, what happened?
Yeah, he just can't believe it.
You're 1-6, and you decide to go for a rush. I mean...
Hey, they're flying away!
They're flying over to Berlin. That's what they're going to be doing. They have qualified. They're happy with it. Mowgli not able to drop and break the 100, but still an MVP performance from him there. As Wolves, well, they could have treated this as a bit of a warm-up for Berlin, because they are now done with EUL. They get to kick back and relax. Watch for the rest of this day, because they, well, they're already qualified to begin with, and they can watch those last 4 teams struggle.
Yeah, they can sit back, relax. They didn't have to show any weird map today, any off-brand one that they didn't play earlier. It's just Bank. They know how to play it. Fresh said it on the desk of Fabian. This is their bread and butter. They're all good for it. Might as well have been a cheese platter day for them as it was for us today. So very well done by the Wolves. Outsiders, unfortunately, end the stage on a big L, but it's not 7-0. Always look on the bright side of life, as the song goes. You know it?
I know it, yeah.
Tutu.
And with that...
I'm trying to be Emmy,
No,
but she's so much better than I am. Oh my God. I can't believe
You're
it.
both great in your own personal ways.
Man, you're really sweet talking me. Go ahead.
It's time to toss it over to a break, and after that, the analyst desk with someone who was also just on the desk just now. It's quite confusing today, but don't worry, it's getting even worse.